What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? And welcome to today's Reddit video. And as always, in these Reddit videos, we cover 8 intriguing posts on the official WWE Reddit. I get my thoughts on those posts, and down in the comments below is where you guys can leave your thoughts as well. But as always, before we get anywhere to any of the videos, be sure to help me out by liking the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Go follow the socials, links to those will be in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account, my X account. Do all that helps me to tell me. Now let's get you guys turned into today's WWE Reddit video. Can we agree this has to be one of the most boring storylines going right now, and it seriously needs to end? No, I personally do not think we can agree here. Honestly, I say this because yes, it does need to end. I absolutely agree with you in the sense that yes, it needs to end. This feud has been going on a long time. It started roughly around the same time when the Sheamus and Rusev feud started, and the Sheamus and Rusev feud has been ended for a few months now, and we're still continuing with this one. So yes, I think this absolutely needs to end. Not only because I think just these individual stars need to go on and do other things and just face each other all the time. And in fact, I really want to see these stars do other things. I don't really want to continue to see them feud, week after week. I really don't want to keep seeing this. I really don't. But as far as this is one of the most boring storylines right now, no, I don't even think it's boring compared to what we actually have that is boring. I'll name boring for you. I'll name, okay, Bayley and Lyra, whatever they're doing with that whole Bayley situation, boring. Nobody care. I mean, I don't know, maybe people do care, but I just know I don't care. I think it's stupid. It's dumb. You have Bayley come back and she's like this, she has like 2 different personas, but now we're like a few months into this or whatever. And like, it's like, where is it even gone? It was really pointless to me to begin with, so that already, that's pretty boring. Another boring, I would say is, whatever they're doing with Rhea and Io Sky. I mean, right now, obviously, speaking of Rhea Ripley, she's actually involved with Damian Priest in this Aleister Black feud, of course, right now. But before that, and I mean, I'm assuming that they're going to continue with that after Rhea's done with this, is the whole Rio stuff. So that's the Rio and Io Sky, them being tag team partners, them being best friends. I don't like that either. I think it's dumb. I think it's stupid. It's like, honestly, dude, I can't say the word for it, but it just is really awkward to me. I just don't like it. I think it's dumb. I think both stars should be doing better things than just, oh, huggy, week after week type of thing. Yes, they put on banger matches together 100%, but I don't like the fact that they just have them continue to be like super close allies. You can have them be allies, fine. I just don't like the idea of them in a tag team, man. So I think you here personally on this is that I think this is just all you. Maybe there's other people like this too, which I can understand, I guess, but I know boring when I see it. Honestly, I don't think this is boring compared to what we have that actually is boring on WWE right now. So I agree with you. Like I said, I agree with you partially here that this feud does need to end. Absolutely, yes, it definitely needs to end, but it's not one of the most boring storylines that going right now in WWE. It's really not, man. Compared, like I keep saying, compared to other things that are actually boring in today's product of WWE right now, this is not one of them. This is not even close to one of them. So, yeah, I agree with you halfway on this, but not completely. The way he smiled. So yes, obviously you are referencing here John Cena's final match, which just took place roughly a week ago, at least at the time that I'm recording this. So yeah, I'm still a bit kind of like, I'm still, kind of confused. What was the reasoning of him smiling specifically? And because I really don't know, man. He smiled and then he tapped out. I don't really get why he would smile here. I genuinely don't. I mean, I do. I thought I kind of had some understanding, but now, man, I really don't. I just don't get it. It's like, this guy tapped out, man. Why would anybody be happy about them tapping out? The only reason I guess I could see him smiling is because, he's happy he's going to go into retirement, but I just don't think John Cena, is like that, because obviously in the post match, he was sad. I mean, he didn't cry, but you could definitely tell, he was sad when, when they were playing the whole video package for him, but I don't really get why he was smiling here. I genuinely don't. I don't know if like it was just a mix of emotions and it just kind of happened, but man, I really have no answers or, really no leads as to why he smiled. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. I genuinely don't know. The way he smiled though is a bit awkward though. It's a bit weird. Just because I just don't get it. I really don't. I just don't freaking understand it. But I mean, if one of you guys actually, can kind of help me understand why he smiled in this moment, leave me that down in the comments below, because I genuinely just don't know why. So I'm not gonna really talk much more about this here because I genuinely don't know why he would smile like this. But yeah, the way he smiled, and at least to me, was definitely a bit weird and a bit awkward, man. Could Joe Hendry really work on main roster? I think yes. It just depends on the approach that they actually take with Joe Hendry. And I want to I want to talk about R-Truth actually for a moment here, because R-Truth, as we know, he's obviously kind of that, you know, comedic character on the WWE right now. You know, he's the most comedic character. He really does not do anything important other than there just being a, you know, a pretty much just WWE's comedian, man, with that whole thing currently going on with Nick Aldis's balls, which obviously that references the last time is now tournament when the Miz obviously did that whole shake-up thing. But the point is, he's that comedic character, man, and Joe Hendry is also that type of character as well, in my opinion. And I feel like if they want Joe Hendry to work on the main roster, I feel like they really need to have Joe Hendry be a little bit more serious. Like, yes, you want to keep everything he's doing now, fine. But I think it needs to be balanced between that and actually serious, man. I think that's something that needs to happen if they do take him to the main roster, which I think they definitely will. I definitely think they will. They just need to have a balance between seriousness and actual comedic type of stuff, because like I said, R-Truth is really, he's that main comedian. He's there to be the comedian. I think that spot for right now should always be on R-Truth. That idea of being a comedian completely full time should stay on R-Truth. Nobody else should have that role whatsoever. So I think that Joe Hendry needs to, when he comes to the main roster, or if he does, there needs to be a balance between seriousness and actual working in good feuds that are actually intriguing versus and then the contrast of obviously him being that more comedic side. You can have him be in the main roster. In fact, that's something I do definitely want to see. But if you really want him to work and you really want him to get out there, I just think that he does not. The point is, I just don't want him to end up like an R-Truth. R-Truth he's at a point in his career, man, where honestly being a comedian like that works for him. But I feel like being a comedian full time like that for a Joe Hendry right now does not work. At least for full time. I don't think that works, and I just think, like I keep saying, there needs to be a balance, man. If there's not a balance, I just don't really know if he will work on the main roster. But really, we'll just have to wait and see what happens, man. If he comes to the main roster or when he does, we'll just have to wait and see. But I definitely think that Joe Hendry could work on the main roster. It just depends if they balance things out. The last great heel, and then right here you do have a post from Drew McIntyre. So let's talk about this here. The last great heel. I think Drew McIntyre is one of the better heels currently in WWE. Absolutely, if not, definitely in the top 2 or top 3 for sure. But as far as saying he's the last great heel, I strongly disagree here. Because obviously right now, I think it's very obvious that Gunther is the greatest heel in WWE right now. He was already a great heel before this whole stuff with John Cena. But man, after everything that happened with him and John Cena, his reputation has skyrocketed. The hate for Gunther has absolutely skyrocketed. And it's like the hate towards Gunther is making people hate other people just besides Gunther, like the bookers, like Triple H. The hate towards Gunther is evolving into hate towards actual bookers of the show. So I think that as far as last great heel in saying that's McIntyre, no, I don't even. I think that role is definitely right now for Gunther, man, because Gunther, his reputation as a heel has just skyrocketed, man. It's insane the interactions that he is getting with fans, the emotions that fans are throwing at him, the things that fans are saying about him. It just shows that he's the greatest heel in WWE right now, man. Like, Gunther is one of those guys right now who can really get under the skin of fans, and it's insane. It's insane how much he really can, man. It's honestly freaking crazy. So I think the last great heel does not go to McIntyre. I think it stays on Gunther, and I think it's going to stay that way for a while, man. I could really see it staying like that for a while. Man, just Gunther's reputation right now as a heel is just insane. So I just don't see it going away anytime soon. It's insane, man. I just don't think Drew McIntyre is in the running for the last great heel, but definitely, but it's definitely Gunther, man. It's 100% Gunther. Cena tapping out was the right call. No, it absolutely was not, man. It absolutely was not the right call. And honestly, I need to make a whole separate video on this. I really still have not debated if I am or not. I said I was going to, which was actually supposed to come out this weekend, but I actually never even made the video. So this is a whole separate video that I need to make, but we'll touch on it a little bit here. So you say Cena tapping out was the right call. Absolutely not. This is not the right call, man. What did John Cena live by for most of his career? Well, let's think. One of those, he lived by multiple things in WWE, but one of the biggest ones was to never give up. What did John Cena do at Saturday Night's Main Event? He gave up. And this kind of, brings in that smiling factor that we talked about just a few moments ago as well. Why did he smile? Then he tapped out. Like, he smiled as he tapped out. But the thing is, he lived by never give up pretty much his whole career. He didn't preach, oh, just give up in the end. No, he preached to never. Keyword never. That means not ever. Do not ever freaking give up. Just keep going. And what did he do here? He gave up. Like, I get it. Fine. You want to have John Cena lose? Fine. I guess, whatever. But tapping out, it just does not make sense to me. No, this was not the right call. It absolutely ruined I think this kind of ruined a little bit of John Cena's career. Not completely, but I feel like it ruined a tiny piece of Cena's career, man. Like, dude, a motto that Cena lived by, wrestled by for a long time was that never give up, and it was crushed. It was literally crushed a week ago on Saturday Night's Main Event. It's insane, man. I don't think this was not the right call whatsoever. Like I said, you want to have John Cena lose, fine, but do not have him lose. You should not have had him lose by getting tapped out, man. That just shows that he gives up, and he smiled when he did it too, man. So it's like, what are we doing? So I mean, I don't know, man. I definitely think I'm not alone on this one. I know a lot of people would back me here, but man, he lived by never give up. What did he do here? He gave up, man. He didn't preach to give up in the end. He never preached that. He only preached to never give up. And what did he do here? He gave up, man. So as far as if this is the right call, absolutely not. You are honestly, I'm going to call you a buffoon for this one. I'm going to call you a freaking buffoon because this was not the right call whatsoever. Gunther retiring 2 legends on 2 separate Saturday Night's Main Events. So yeah, he did. He retired 2 legends. Obviously, the more effective one was definitely John Cena, because I honestly think nobody really cared that he retired Goldberg. I mean, maybe there was people, but not as big of a population as whereas he obviously, he retired John Cena. The reaction it's just nowhere close to what happened with him and John Cena. It's really not. There's a complete difference. You can argue with me, but there's definitely a complete difference there. So what this sets up, though, man, I truly think that Gunther is definitely the next legend killer, but who also lived as the legend killer was Randy Orton, and they still consider him that. But I think the next legend killer is going to be Gunther. And honestly, I know a lot of people are going to hate when I say this, but honestly, I think Gunther is going to retire. He's obviously going to continue to retire more legends, and one of those legends is going to eventually, whether you like it or not, it's going to be Randy, man. They want to solidify Gunther as the legend killer. I absolutely think they want to solidify him as this. It's clear to see, man. I mean, he's already retired Goldberg, he's retired Cena, and all of us know that AJ Styles is retiring next year. He's already announced that, and I believe, just this past episode of Raw, well, we would see Gunther. He would get told by Nick Aldis and by Adam Pearce to leave the arena, but as he's leaving, he got a stare down and he mocked AJ Styles. So I think that's only foreshadowing that he's next he's going to retire AJ Styles, but later on down the line, he's going to, like I said, retire a guy like Randy Orton, which is going to capitalize him as the guy, as the new legend killer, man. So I mean, I know a lot of people are gonna hate that. Honestly, I hate that too, because especially with AJ Styles, man, I already know they're gonna have AJ lose to Gunther. I know it's gonna suck too, man, because AJ Styles, like I mentioned so many times on the channel, man, he is a guy that got me into wrestling, so it's gonna suck when that happens, but I already know it's going to. After what we saw with John Cena, honestly, Gunther is going to retire so many legends. It's going to be insane, man. That's why I said he's going to be the next legend killer. There's just no doubt in my mind. But like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's going to suck to see what happens as well. I'm not going to lie, but we'll have to wait and we're going to have to ride that boat, man. But yeah, this is setting up something really big for the future, man. These kind of finishes are so annoying. Just choose a winner and book it. Yeah, I have to agree with you, but specifically on this match, for sure, man. This was a match I absolutely wanted to see, and in just a regular pinfall or submission. I really wanted it to, man. I did not really want to see a disqualification here, because obviously in this match we would see the disqualification interference from Drew McIntyre, who would attack Cody Rhodes. And honestly, with this match, like I said, this is definitely a match that I really didn't want a disqualification, but what the disqualification did set up inevitably is really cool, man, because I think I know a lot of people have said it so many times before, and I've said it before, is Cody Rhodes is going to lose the title to McIntyre. It's going to happen. We said it months ago, it didn't happen, but here we are now. I think it's genuinely going to happen this time around. So what this disqualification did set up is going to be amazing. But for now, but what, you know, it sucks that it did have to interfere in this amazing match, man. Obafemi and Cody, from what they did do in the match before the disqualification, it was great. It was amazing. This is a match I want them to revisit, and this is a match I want to see again. This is a match that I want to see actually get complete. So I can't wait. I think they'll definitely do it, man. I think they will for sure. It will happen eventually in the future. I can't wait to see it. But man, it's going to be great when that does happen. But like I said, what the actual disqualification here did set up, man, is going to be amazing. I think, like I said, this is going to be the time that they actually capitalize on McIntyre. This is where they're actually going to, you know, have Cody lose the title here. So that's going to be awesome. You know, I mean, I don't hate Cody whatsoever, but I think it's definitely time for a change, and a change in Drew McIntyre is going to be awesome. You know, he's going to be the champion. He's going to be a heel. It's going to be amazing, man. But yeah, like I said, this match here, it does suck that it did have to interfere with this. Very unfortunate, but like I said, this is something that I can just absolutely do see the WWE revisiting in the future, which will be awesome. And I just cannot wait to see this match once again in the future. Hot take: John Cena's heel turn helped his retirement tour bring eyes to his last year in ring. This let casual and lapsed fans know what he's up to and focus on his endeavors, growing eyes on both his wrestling and acting stuff. You should have known being a heel could only go for so long in 12 months. So I think you're right with partially. I think you're definitely right partially here in your in your hot take here. So what I mean by your partially is I do definitely agree with the fact that yes, his heel turn helped bring eyes to him his last year in the ring, absolutely. And it also, you know, it made headlines. It definitely made headlines. It made eyes drag towards Cena. So as far as that part of your hot take, man, I think that is absolutely true. That is 100% true. There's really no denying that. But what I don't agree on here is that you say you should have known being a heel could only go for so long in 12 months. I think that's false. I think they actually had big plans for this heel run, absolutely. But, well, that actually didn't happen, of course, because of everything that happened with Travis Scott, and, you know, The Rock pretty much disappeared. So I think there was big plans. I think there was a long, big plan for this heel run that everybody obviously wanted to see the payoff of. Everybody wanted to continue to experience it. Obviously, we never got a big payoff, and Cena just inevitably turned back to being a babyface, which is still cool, but we know it's not as cool as, you know, get what the big payoff for this was. I think this heel run honestly was supposed to go for the entire for the entirety of the farewell tour, man. I really do. But like I said, it got cut short because, well, where was Travis Scott? You know, he got, you know, fucked over. He left, you know, he did some shit, and then, you know, The Rock just never showed up. Like, The Rock was should have been there at WrestleMania, but hey, no Rock, but there was a Travis. But, you know, people wanted Rock, man. As soon as Travis's music hit, I thought The Rock was coming out. I was there in the building at that time. As soon as his music hit, I was like, yo, where's The Rock? Rock's coming out. No Rock came out. We all left pretty freaking disappointed. I will still say, though, that match, the side note, that match to me is still pretty good, but that's also just because I was there, so I actually got to feel the emotion, but the emotion in the arena for that match was still amazing for me. I actually enjoyed it, but I know a lot of people actually hate that match. But point is, man, back to this, I think that that this was supposed to be something that went for the entire year, for most of the year, man. This was definitely something that was not supposed to be cut short as it was, and unfortunately it was. Everybody wanted to see the big payoff. I know I did, but we did not get that because people like The Rock and Travis Scott. So I agree with the fact that yes, this did absolutely help bring eyes to his last year in the ring and and his acting and wrestling stuff in general. There's no denying that, like I said, but what there is denying is the fact that, you know, this could only go for so long in 12 months. I think this was supposed to go the entire year, but like I said, it just did not happen because, you know, people just decide not to show up. All right, well, that is going to wrap up this week's Reddit video. As always, I do hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn post notifications so you never miss an upload. Go follow the socials. Links to those will be in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account, Mex account. Do all that, helps me a ton. And don't forget, leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And I will catch y'all boys in the next one. Peace.